In my first life, I was a good daughter and a better niece. That was my mistake. My uncle Rick, the man who was supposed to be my protector after my dad left, saw my trust as an opportunity. He drained my college fund. Every last cent of the $47,832 my mother had painstakingly saved for my future at MIT. He died not at the hands of the loan sharks he owed, but from a heart attack in a dingy motel room. A stack of Monopoly money I'd sent him sitting on the nightstand. I died in a car crash a year later, my own dreams unrealized. The bitterness of his betrayal still a stone in my gut. Now, I'm back. And this time, the house of cards is his, and I'm the one holding the match. The numbers on the screen mock me. $0. A stark, brutal zero, where $47,832 should be. My entire future erased. I blink, hoping the pixels will rearrange themselves, that this is a glitch, a bad dream. But the transaction history below is a string of venomous little truths. ATM withdrawal, the Bellagio, Las Vegas. ATM withdrawal, Caesar's Palace. ATM withdrawal, MGM Grand. All dated yesterday. All signed by Richard Henderson. Uncle Rick. The bank statement I printed crinkles in my hand. My palm is so sweaty the ink is starting to smear, blurring his name into a dark, ugly smudge. It feels right. He is a smudge, a stain on our family, on my life. A hot, acidic rage burns its way up my throat, so pure and potent it tastes like metal, like I've been chewing on a roll of aluminum foil. My breath catches in my chest, a ragged hitching sound in the quiet of my bedroom. 18 hours. My MIT application, the one I've poured my soul into for the last 4 years, is due at midnight tomorrow. The essays are polished, the recommendations are in, my grades are flawless. But the application fee, the financial aid forms that require proof of funds, it's all tied to that account. An account that is now nothing more than a digital graveyard. Without that money, my dream doesn't just get deferred, it dies. It will be executed at the stroke of midnight, and my own uncle is the one swinging the axe. He always called me his little genius. That's my Maya, he'd boast at family gatherings, ruffling my hair. Going to change the world, this one. He said it like he was proud, like my success was his own. I see now it was just another commodity he was sizing up. He wasn't looking at me, he was looking at a future he could pawn. My hands are shaking, but not from fear, not anymore. The shock is crystallizing into something hard and sharp. A purpose. I'm not just going to get the money back. That's not enough. I'm going to make him feel this. This hollowing out, this theft of hope. He thinks he can gamble away my life and walk away? He has no idea who he's dealing with. He gave me $20 for my birthday last week. For your college fund, he'd said with a greasy wink, pressing the bill into my hand. It was probably the last of his own money before he decided to start using mine. I still have it, tucked away in my wallet. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. My phone feels heavy in my hand, a weapon waiting to be aimed. I scroll to his contact, his smiling face in the profile picture mocking me. It's an old photo from a barbecue 2 summers ago. He has his arm around me and I'm beaming, oblivious. I look at that happy, trusting girl and I want to scream at her. I want to warn her. But I can't. All I can do now is fight for her. I press the call button. The line rings once, twice. My heart pounds a frantic rhythm against my ribs, a war drum counting down the hours, 18 hours. He has no idea the clock is ticking for him, too. He answers on the 3rd ring, his voice breezy, laced with the false cheer he always uses when he's hiding something. Maya Bear, what's up, kiddo? My voice, when it comes out, is unnervingly calm, colder than a tombstone. Uncle Rick, I say, the name feeling like poison on my tongue. We need to talk about my college fund. The silence on the other end is immediate and absolute. It's the sound of a cockroach realizing the light has just been flicked on. It's the sound of my war beginning. I can almost hear the gears turning in his head, the pathetic scramble for an excuse, a lie. But I don't give him the chance. I'm at the bank. I lie, the word smooth and practiced. They have some questions about some withdrawals in Vegas yesterday. Another beat of silence, Then a nervous chuckle. Oh, that. Yeah, we need to talk. It was an investment, Maya. A sure thing. I was going to double it for you. An investment. He calls grand larceny an investment. The sheer audacity of it steals the air from my lungs for a second. But I get it back, colder and sharper than before. Good, I say, my voice dropping to a near whisper. Because I'm coming to collect, right now. I hang up before he can respond, before he can spin another web of his pathetic, transparent lies. I stand up, the bank statement clutched in my fist. The rage is a fire in my veins now, burning away the shock and the fear. He thinks this is a game. He thinks he can roll the dice with my life. He's about to find out what happens when you bet against the house and realize the house is the one person you should never have crossed. He didn't just steal my money, he declared war. And I am coming to collect not just the cash, but everything he has, everything he is, and everything he ever will be. The 20-minute drive to Uncle Rick's place is a blur of red lights and clenched fists. He doesn't have a place, not really. He's been squatting in the small rental house Mom owns on the other side of town, the one she's been meaning to fix up and sell. She'd given him a break, letting him stay there rent-free for a few months, just to get back on his feet. Another one of his cons, another line of credit he'd cashed in on our family's good nature. She gave me a set of spare keys months ago. Just in case, Maya, you know how he is. For emergencies. I guess this qualifies. I pull up to the curb, my engine growling in the quiet street. The house is small, a little sad-looking, with peeling paint and a lawn that's more weeds than grass. It's a perfect reflection of the man inside. I kill the engine and get out, the new set of locks from the hardware store heavy in my jacket pocket. The plan formed in my head on the drive over, cold and clear and simple. He stole my future home at MIT. I'll take his current one. A fair trade. I don't bother knocking. I use the key Mom gave me, the metal cool against my skin. The lock clicks open, and I step inside. The air is stale, thick with the smell of old beer, desperation, and cheap air freshener failing to mask the first two. Dirty plates are piled in the sink. A crumpled losing lottery ticket sits on the coffee table like a sad, discarded dream. His dream, not mine. I walk through the small house, my footsteps echoing on the dusty hardwood floors. He's not here. Probably out trying to borrow more money, spinning more sob stories. Good, this is easier. I start with the front door, my hands steady as I work the screwdriver. The old lock comes off with a groan of protest. The new one, shiny and solid, slides into place. One down. I move to the back door, repeating the process. It's methodical, therapeutic. With every turn of the screwdriver, I feel a piece of my power returning. He took my security, so I'm taking his. Just as I'm tightening the last screw on the back door, I hear his car pull up. A beat-up sedan that sounds like it's coughing up a lung. I walk calmly to the front window and peer through the blinds. It's him. He gets out of the car whistling, a greasy bag of fast food in his hand. The sight of his carefree demeanor makes my blood run cold. He has no idea his world is about to shrink to the size of his busted-up car. I stand by the front door, arms crossed, waiting. He saunters up the walkway, fumbling for his keys. He tries the old key in the new lock. It doesn't fit. He jiggles it, confusion clouding his face. He tries again, pushing harder, his shoulder bumping against the door. Finally, he looks up and sees my silhouette through the frosted glass of the window. He squints. Maya, what are you doing in there? Open up. I don't move. Maya, come on, this isn't funny. I got us some burgers. I just stare at his shadowy form. The fear is starting to creep into his voice. He rattles the doorknob, a frantic, desperate sound. What the hell did you do? I walk over to the window next to the door, the one where he can see me clearly. I hold up the new set of keys, letting them jingle softly, a death knell for his comfortable little life. His face contorts, a mask of disbelief and fury. You can't do this, Maya. I'm family. This is your mother's house. And you're squatting here, I say, my voice as flat and hard as the new lock. Family doesn't steal their niece's entire future, Uncle Rick. Family doesn't take $47,000 and piss it away in Vegas. I was going to pay you back with interest. he yells, his face pressed against the glass, his breath fogging it up. It was a bad run, that's all. I can get it back. No, you can't, I say. You're done. I pull a folded piece of paper from my back pocket, an official eviction notice I printed off the internet. I found a loophole in the tenant laws for family members without a lease. He has 24 hours. I slide open the mail slot in the door and tape the notice to the inside where he can't rip it down. The locks are changed, Uncle Rick. Your stuff will be on the lawn tomorrow morning. You have 24 hours to vacate the property. I pause, letting the words sink in. And by the way, Mom got a call yesterday from some guys you owe money to at the casino. They sounded very insistent. His face goes pale, the anger draining away to be replaced by a stark primal fear. That's the look I was hoping for, the look of a cornered rat. You're bluffing, he sputters, but there's no conviction in it. Am I? I ask. You have one day. Then Mom changes the locks and reports the property as abandoned. Anything left inside is hers. I turn to walk away from the door, my part in this scene over. But as I pass the small desk he's been using, a stack of papers catches my eye. Bank statements. Not just from my account, but from Mom's savings account too. And another folder, filled with what looks like transfer authorizations. I pick one up. It's a form to transfer $10,000 from Mom's account to his. The signature at the bottom is a clumsy, almost laughable forgery of my mother's name. There are 5 of them, $50,000 on top of my college fund. My heart freezes. This isn't just theft. He's been systematically draining my mother, too. He's been forging her signature. This is bigger than I thought. This isn't just a family dispute anymore. This is a felony. I gather the papers, my hands no longer shaking. They're steady. I look out the window at my uncle, who is now pacing on the lawn, screaming into his phone, probably leaving a desperate voicemail for my mother. He's not just a thief, he's a criminal, and I have the proof. I walk back to the door, my shadow falling over him again. He stops yelling and looks at me, his eyes wide with a new kind of panic. Guess what I just found, Uncle Rick? I say, holding up the forged documents to the glass. Looks like your bad run just turned into felony fraud. I wonder what the police will have to say about that. The color drains completely from his face. He looks like a ghost. My ghost. The one I'm going to haunt until the day he finally pays for what he's done. I wave the papers one last time, a triumphant little flutter, before turning my back on him for good. The drive to the police station is going to be a pleasure. The police station smells of stale coffee, disinfectant, and quiet desperation. Fluorescent lights hum a monotonous tune overhead, casting a sickly yellow glow on the linoleum floors. It's a place where futures go to die, but for me, it's where my fight truly begins. I sit across from a tired-looking officer named Miller, his name tag slightly crooked on his crisp uniform. He looks at me with a practiced, weary sympathy I don't need. So let me get this straight, he says, tapping his pen on a fresh report form. Your uncle, Richard Henderson, accessed your joint college savings account and withdrew the entire balance of $47,832 without your permission. That's correct, I say, my voice even. I push the folder of forged bank transfers across the desk. And he also appears to have forged my mother's signature to steal an additional $50,000 from her personal savings. Officer Miller picks up one of the documents, his eyebrows shooting up. He compares the clumsy signature to a legitimate one on another statement I provided. Well, I'm no handwriting expert, but this looks problematic. He glances back up at me, his expression shifting from weary to genuinely interested. This is a serious accusation, you know. Felony fraud, grand larceny. I'm aware, I say. I want to press charges for everything. As he takes my statement, my phone buzzes incessantly on the table beside me. A string of texts from Uncle Rick. Uncle Rick, you little bitch, you can't do this to me. Uncle Rick, I'll tell your mother you're lying. She'll believe me. Uncle Rick, answer your phone, Maya. You're destroying this family. I ignore them, letting each buzz punctuate the official record of his crimes. He's the one who threw the grenade into our family. I'm just standing back and watching it detonate. After an hour of paperwork and questions, Officer Miller gives me a case number and a grim assurance that a detective will be in touch. Don't expect this to move quickly, he warns. These things take time. I have time, I say, and I have a plan. The next day at school, the world feels tilted on its axis. I'm trying to focus on my AP Calculus lecture, but the numbers on the board just swim in my vision, mocking me. All I can see is the dwindling number of hours until my application is due. 13 hours now. I feel a constant, low-grade hum of anxiety under my skin. During lunch, I'm sitting with my best friend Cassie, trying to pretend everything is normal. She's rambling about prom dresses, and I'm pushing mashed potatoes around my plate, trying to form a coherent sentence. That's when the commotion starts at the entrance to the cafeteria. A man's voice, raised in anger. A familiar voice. I need to see my niece, Maya Henderson. I'm her guardian. My head snaps up. It's him, Uncle Rick. He's standing there in the doorway, his clothes rumpled, his face blotchy and red. He looks wild, unhinged. 2 campus security guards are trying to block his path, but he's pushing against them, his voice echoing through the suddenly silent cafeteria. Every eye is on him. Every eye is on me. Maya, tell them you're lying, he bellows, pointing a trembling finger in my direction. She's an ungrateful brat. I raised her when her good-for-nothing dad walked out on us. The blood drains from my face. My dad leaving is a raw, tender wound he's always known how to poke. He's using it now in front of everyone, as a weapon. Cassie grabs my hand under the table, her grip firm. Don't, she whispers. He's not worth it. The guards finally get a firm hold on him, their hands on his arms, and begin escorting him out. He's still screaming, a torrent of vitriol and twisted family history. She stole from me. She locked me out of my own house, after everything I did for her. I watch from the window as they drag him across the quad, his words floating back, fragmented and pathetic. I can't hear them anymore, but I can feel them. The weight of every lie, every manipulation, every time he played the martyr to get what he wanted. I trusted him. After my dad left, Mom had to work 2 jobs. Rick was the one who picked me up from school, who helped with my homework, who told me I was smart and special. He built a pedestal of trust just so he could have a better vantage point to push me off it. And I trusted you. I whisper back to the empty space where he stood. My voice so quiet, only I can hear it. Maya, are you okay? Cassie asks, her voice full of genuine concern. I can only nod, my throat too tight to speak. The humiliation is a physical weight pressing down on me. But beneath it, the anger is hardening again, turning from a hot flame into a cold, sharp shard of ice. Maya, Cassie says, her voice hesitant. She pulls out her phone, her expression pained. There's something else I didn't know if I should show you, but you need to see this. She turns the phone towards me. It's open to Facebook, to a local buy-sell trade group. The post is from 3 weeks ago. It's from Uncle Rick. He's selling a delicate gold locket with a small diamond chip. Vintage family heirloom for sale. The caption reads, solid gold. Must sell ASAP. $500 OBO. My breath catches. It's my grandmother's locket, the one she left for me, the one I thought I'd lost a month ago. My heart plummets into my stomach. He didn't just lose it, he stole it. Cassie scrolls down. There are more posts. A pair of antique pearl earrings, a silver bracelet, all of them described as family heirlooms. All of them mine, passed down from a grandmother I barely knew, treasured pieces of a past he sold for pocket change. Probably seed money for his trip to Vegas. He's been planning this, I say, the words falling from my lips like stones. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment screw-up. He's been systematically robbing me for months. The warm, noisy cafeteria air suddenly feels ice-cold. This changes everything. This wasn't a desperate man making a terrible mistake. This was a calculated campaign. He looked me in the eye every day, asked me about my college essays, told me how proud he was, all while he was selling off my history, piece by piece, planning his grand finale, the theft of my future. Cassie looks at me, her eyes wide with horror and pity. What are you going to do? I look down at the $20 bill in my wallet, the one he gave me for my birthday. The last insult. A plan begins to form in my mind, a terrible, beautiful, perfect plan. It's a long shot, a 1 in a million chance. But so was my dream of going to MIT, and he thought he could kill that too. I'm going to the convenience store, I say, my voice steady again, the ice in my veins spreading. I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. He loves gambling. He lives for the thrill of the long shot, the roll of the dice. He's about to find out what it feels like when the biggest gamble of his life pays off for the wrong person. The convenience store is an assault on the senses. The chime of the door, the smell of hot dogs turning endlessly on a roller, the hum of the fluorescent lights that seems to follow me everywhere these days. It's a temple of cheap thrills and desperation, the kind of place Uncle Rick probably considers a second home. I walk past the aisles of chips and sugary drinks, my destination the counter at the back where a bored-looking teenager is leaning against a display of scratch-off tickets. "One Mega Millions ticket, please," I say, my voice sounding foreign to my own ears. The kid barely looks at me. "You want the Mega Plier? It's an extra buck." "No, just the regular ticket." I slide the $20 bill across the counter. The same 20 Uncle Rick gave me for my birthday. The irony is so thick, it's practically a physical object. He gave me this money, a pittance to assuage his guilt before he gutted my life savings. He thought he was giving me pocket money. He has no idea he's funding his own destruction. The kid takes the bill, his fingers brushing mine. He prints the ticket, a flimsy slip of paper with a string of random numbers. 0, 7, 14, 22, 30, 8, 45. Megaball, 11. It means nothing. It's just a random assortment of digits, a 1 in 300 million prayer. I take the slip of paper, fold it carefully, and put it in my wallet right next to my student ID. The two halves of my life, the one I worked for and the one that's a complete shot in the dark. For the rest of the day, the ticket is a secret weight in my pocket. I go home, I force myself to eat dinner, I pretend to do my homework. Mom is working a double shift at the hospital, so the house is quiet. Too quiet. It gives me too much time to think. The application deadline looms, a black hole threatening to swallow me whole. 10 hours left. I should be panicking. I should be calling relatives, begging for money, looking up last-minute student loans with predatory interest rates. But I feel a strange, unnerving calm. It's the calm of a general before a battle, the quiet focus of a hunter who has spotted her prey. The lottery ticket is Plan A, the impossible, ridiculous, long-shot plan. But my mind is already working on Plans B, C, and D. They all have one thing in common. They are all different ways to ruin Uncle Rick. The drawing is at 11 p.m. I watch it on my laptop, the volume turned down low. A perky host and a series of clear tubes filled with bouncing, numbered balls. It's so absurdly low-tech for something that holds the power to change lives. The numbers are drawn, one by one. Ping. The first ball drops. It's a 7. I glance at my ticket. 07. My heart gives a little flutter. A coincidence. Ping. The second ball, 14. My eyes dart back to the ticket, 14. Okay, that's weird. My pulse quickens. Ping. 22. It's on my ticket. My breath catches in my throat. This can't be happening. Ping. 38. I stare at the ticket, then back at the screen. The numbers are matching. They're actually matching. My hand starts to shake. Ping. 45. The final white ball, it's there, on my ticket. I've matched all 5 white balls. That's $1 million. $1 million. My mind is screaming. I could pay for MIT 4 times over. I could... The host smiles brightly. And now for the gold mega ball. The gold balls tumble. One drops. The number is 11. I look at my ticket. Mega ball 11. The world goes silent. The perky host, the bouncing balls, the hum of my laptop, it all fades away. There's only the slip of paper in my hand and the numbers on the screen. They're the same. All 6 of them. Jackpot, $847 million. Golly, I don't scream, I don't cry. I just sit there, staring at the screen, the ticket clutched in my hand. $847 million. The number is so large it's meaningless. It's an abstraction. A string of zeros that my brain can't quite process. The money he stole from me was real. It was tangible. It was the result of my mother's sweat and sacrifice. This This is something else entirely. It's cosmic. It's impossible. A slow, cold smile spreads across my face. This is so much better than just getting my money back. This is poetic justice on a scale I couldn't have imagined in my wildest dreams. He built his life on the thrill of the gamble, on the seductive whisper of the long shot, and now the biggest long shot of them all has come in. Not for him, for me, using the last $20 he ever gave me. My initial plan was to get my money back, maybe see him face some legal consequences. Now that's not enough. That's letting him off easy. I'm not just going to beat him. I'm going to destroy him. I'm going to use his own greed, his own addiction, as the weapon that brings him to his knees. He doesn't just want money, he worships it. He craves the power, the status, the freedom he thinks it brings. He stole my future for a tiny taste of it. Now I have more money than he could have dreamed of in 1,000 lifetimes of lucky streaks. And he will never ever see a single dime of it. But first, I'm going to let him think he can. The plan begins to download into my brain, fully formed and terrifyingly perfect. I'm going to make him beg. I'm going to make him grovel. I'm going to dangle this fortune in front of his face like a carrot, and then I'm going to snatch it away at the last possible second, leaving him with nothing but the bitter taste of what could have been. I look at the clock. 9 hours until the application is due. I don't need the money for that anymore. I can pay the fee with my credit card. I can self-fund my entire education. I can buy the entire MIT campus if I want to. The deadline doesn't matter, not for me. But it matters to him. The casino debt collectors, they gave him a deadline. And it's coming up fast. I lean back in my chair, the lottery ticket feeling warm in my hand, like it's humming with a secret power. He thinks he's a gambler. He has no idea what it's like to hold a winning hand. But he's about to find out. And it's going to be the last lesson he ever learns. The game has changed. I'm the house now, and the house always wins. The next morning, I skip school. My mother is still asleep after her double shift, and the house is quiet. I feel a thrum of energy in my veins, a cold, clear purpose that has banished any need for sleep. The winning lottery ticket is tucked safely away, a confirmed miracle waiting to be claimed. But my revenge needs to be served first. My plan requires a prop. A very specific prop. I go online and find what I'm looking for. High-resolution images of every denomination of Monopoly money. I download them, sharpen the images, and then I start printing. On the highest quality paper my printer can handle, I print out sheets and sheets of fake money. Hundreds of fake $500 bills, thousands of fake $100s. I spend 2 hours with a paper cutter and a ruler, meticulously slicing them into perfect, crisp bills. When I'm done, I have a shoebox filled with $47,832 in flawless, brightly colored Monopoly money. It's beautiful, it's worthless, it's perfect. I pack the box, tape it securely, and write a note to tuck inside. The note is simple, just 3 words written in my neatest script. Here's your winnings. I find the address online. He checked into the cheapest, sleaziest motel on the edge of town, the kind of place with peeling paint and hourly rates. The Sundown Motel. How fitting. I drive there, my heart a steady, even drumbeat in my chest. I leave the package with the bored-looking man at the front desk. For Richard Henderson, room 112, I say, my voice sweet as honey. He's expecting it. I'm barely back in my car when my phone rings. It's him. I let it ring 3 times before I answer, savoring the moment. Hello? I say, my voice light and airy. What the hell is this, Maya? He sputters, his voice a ragged mess of confusion and fury. I can hear the crinkle of the fake money in the background. Is this some kind of sick joke? A joke? Uncle Rick, I have no idea what you're talking about. I lie, injecting a note of innocent surprise into my voice. Did you get the package I sent? The package? You sent me a box of fake money. Monopoly money. He screeches, his voice cracking. I open it up, thinking it's real, thinking you came to your senses, and it's for a board game. Oh, that, I say with a little laugh. I just thought you should have it. It's exactly what you left me with, isn't it? A pile of pretty paper. Promises that aren't worth anything in the real world. I thought you of all people would appreciate the symbolism. There's a long, stunned silence on the other end of the line. I can almost picture him, standing in that disgusting little motel room, the colorful, useless bills scattered around his feet, the dawning horror on his face. You, you little... He chokes, unable to even form a coherent insult. I have to go now, Uncle Rick, I say, my voice turning serious. Big day. I'm heading over to the State Lottery Commission this afternoon to claim my prize. Prize? What prize? He asks, his voice suddenly small. Oh, didn't I tell you that $20 you gave me for my birthday? I bought a lottery ticket. I won. The big one. $847 million. The sound he makes is a strangled gasp, a mix of disbelief and soul-crushing despair. It's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. You're lying, he whispers, but the words have no force. He knows I'm not. He knows his luck is just that bad and mine is just that good. Why would I lie about something like that? I ask sweetly. Anyway, I'm sure you're busy. You have that deadline to worry about, right? The one with the casino? What time did they say they were coming for their money? Sunset, was it? Maya, please, he begs, his voice breaking completely. The anger is gone, replaced by a raw, pathetic desperation. You can't let them do this to me. I'm your family, your mother's brother. You have to help me. My mother, I say, my voice turning to ice. I've been waiting for this moment. Time for the next twist of the knife. That's funny. You should probably talk to her about that. She was just at the police station this morning. What? Why? She's pressing charges, Uncle Rick. I lie, the falsehood rolling off my tongue as smoothly as silk. For the $50,000 you stole from her. Forgery, embezzlement, the works. She was very upset. Said she doesn't have a brother anymore. The silence that follows is profound. It's the sound of a man's world completely and irrevocably collapsing. He thought he could play me against her. He thought he could use her as his ace in the hole. I just took that card, ripped it up, and set it on fire. No, he whispers, she wouldn't. Wouldn't she? I ask. You stole from her. You stole from me. You stole my grandmother's jewelry. You lied to us for years. I think we're done giving you the benefit of the doubt. The police have the forged bank transfers. They have your posts from Facebook. They have a very, very strong case. He's not even trying to argue anymore. He's just making small, wounded animal sounds into the phone. The deadline for your casino debt is tomorrow at sunset, I say, my voice devoid of all emotion. That gives you about 30 hours to come up with some real money, not the play money I sent you. You're a gambler, Uncle Rick. I'd say the odds are not in your favor. Goodbye. I hang up the phone and turn off the ringer. I lean my head back against the car seat and close my eyes. A single, perfect tear of triumph rolling down my cheek. He's trapped. He's alone. His only family has turned on him. The law is closing in, and his violent creditors are on their way. And the one person in the world who could save him, the person who holds a ticket worth more than his wildest fantasies, is the one who is engineering his downfall. He thought money was the answer to all his problems. He's about to find out it's the source of all of his pain. And I'm just getting started. The courtroom is a study in muted tones and hushed whispers. Polished wood, beige walls, and the low hum of the air conditioning create a sterile, solemn atmosphere. It's the perfect antiseptic stage for the messy, emotional drama about to unfold. I'm here for a restraining order, a formality my newly hired shark-like lawyer insisted upon. He sits beside me, a mountain of calm professionalism in a perfectly tailored suit. Across the room, the defendant's chair is empty. Uncle Rick is late. Of course he is. The judge, a stern-faced woman with sharp eyes and hair pulled back in a severe bun, taps her pen impatiently. Is the respondent, Mr. Henderson, present? She asks, her voice echoing slightly in the quiet room. Just as my lawyer begins to stand and ask for a default judgment, the courtroom doors burst open. Uncle Rick stumbles in, a hurricane of chaos in this calm, ordered world. He's a mess. His clothes are the same rumpled set from yesterday. His hair is a rat's nest, and his eyes are bloodshot and wild. The acrid smell of cheap whiskey wafts from him, a testament to how he spent his last night of freedom. He's drunk, not just tipsy, but belligerently, stupidly drunk. I'm here. I'm here, he slurs, weaving his way towards the defendant's table. He glares at me, his face a mask of pure, undiluted hatred. She's a liar. All of it lies. The judge's gaze is glacial. Mr. Henderson, you will approach the table and you will be silent until you are addressed. Is that understood? He collapses into his chair, muttering under his breath. Spoiled brat. Thinks she's better than everyone. My lawyer begins, laying out the facts in a calm and dispassionate voice. The theft of the college fund, the eviction, the incident at my school. With every word, Rick gets more agitated, fidgeting in his seat, shaking his head in violent denial. This is a clear pattern of harassment and intimidation, Your Honor, my lawyer concludes. My client fears for her safety. The judge looks at Rick. Mr. Henderson, do you have a response to these allegations? He lurches to his feet. A response? Yeah, I have a response. She's the one who should have a restraining order against her. She locked me out of my house. She's trying to send me to jail. He points a shaking finger at me. Your Honor, she's lying. I borrowed that money fair and square. It was an investment that went south, that's all. The judge's expression doesn't flicker. Borrowed implies permission, Mr. Henderson? Did you have permission from your niece to withdraw $47,000 from her college fund? She's family, he explodes, his voice a raw, desperate roar. I don't need permission from some spoiled brat who's had everything handed to her on a silver platter. I raised that girl. I was more of a father to her than her own dad ever was. And this is how she repays me? By trying to ruin my life? He's panting, his face flushed, his chest heaving. This is it, the moment I've been waiting for, the moment he plays his last pathetic card, the martyr. I stand up slowly, my movements calm and deliberate. My lawyer places a restraining hand on my arm, but I shake my head. I've got this. All eyes are on me. The judge, the bailiff, my lawyer, and my uncle, whose face is a twisted knot of rage and self-pity. Your Honor, I say, my voice clear and steady, cutting through the thick tension in the room. May I address my uncle directly? The judge hesitates for a fraction of a second, then gives a curt nod. Briefly. I turn my body to face him fully. I look him right in his bloodshot, desperate eyes. You're right about one thing, Uncle Rick. I begin, my voice soft, almost conversational. You did help raise me. You taught me a lot. You taught me that some people will look at your dreams and only see something they can sell. You taught me that trust is a weapon. And you taught me about gambling. He stares at me, confused, his drunken mind trying to process my words. You love the thrill of it, don't you? I continue, taking a small step towards him. The long shot, the big score. You bet everything on a roll of the dice. You bet my future, and you lost. This is ridiculous, he scoffs, but the bravado is gone. But here's the thing about gambling, I say, my voice dropping lower, more intense. Sometimes the impossible happens. Sometimes, against all odds, someone hits the jackpot. I reach into my purse and pull out a single, folded slip of paper. I place it on the table in front of me and slide it across the polished wood. It glides silently, coming to a stop directly in front of his trembling hands. I've won the lottery, Uncle Rick. The words hang in the air, electric and impossible. He stares at the ticket, then back at my face, his jaw slack. $847 million, I announce, my voice ringing with a triumphant clarity. The ticket I bought with the last $20 you ever gave me. His face crumples. It's not a slow change. It's a complete and total collapse. The anger, the defiance, the self-pity, it all evaporates, replaced by a raw, gaping void of pure horror. The horror of a man who has just realized he was starving to death while sitting on a winning lottery ticket he didn't know he had. He looks at the ticket, then at me, his eyes begging, pleading, searching for some sign that this is another one of my cruel jokes. He finds none. You have it all wrong, I say, my voice now as cold and sharp as a razor. I'm not trying to ruin your life. You don't have a life left to ruin. You're a broke, homeless alcoholic with a gambling debt that's about to get called in by people who don't care about sob stories. You have nothing. No family, no future. I lean in, lowering my voice so only he can hear. I could change all that. With the stroke of a pen, I could pay your debts. I could set you up for life. I could give you everything you've ever dreamed of. A flicker of hope, desperate and pathetic, ignites in his eyes. He opens his mouth to speak, to beg, to promise. I cut him off. But I'm not going to, I say, my voice a merciless whisper. Instead, I'm creating a foundation, the Maya Henderson Foundation. Its first official act will be to establish a scholarship fund at MIT, a full ride every year for a student whose family has tried to sabotage their future, a student whose relatives tried to steal their dreams. I'm going to use every single penny of this money to help kids like me. Kids you would have seen as just another mark. I stand back up, my gaze sweeping over his shattered face one last time. He is a ghost. A hollowed-out man, haunted by the fortune that was within his grasp and the niece who snatched it away. He is richer than his wildest gambling fantasies, and he will never, ever see a single dime. He's lost the biggest gamble of all. He bet my future and lost his soul. I turn back to the judge. I think that's all, Your Honor. I believe the restraining order is necessary. The judge just stares at me for a long moment, a flicker of something, awe perhaps, or even approval in her sharp eyes. Then she bangs her gavel, the sound like a gunshot in the silent room. Restraining order granted. As the bailiff leads a now sobbing, incoherent Uncle Rick from the courtroom, I lean over the table and pick up the lottery ticket. He watches me, his eyes wide with a final, desperate plea. I hold his gaze, letting him see the absolute lack of pity in mine. Now, the money you stole from me bought a lottery ticket that made me richer than you'll ever be, I say, my voice quiet but carrying the weight of a final judgment. You thought you were cashing in on my future. Turns out you were just buying a front-row seat to watch me build a better one without you. I fold the ticket, tuck it back into my purse, and walk out of the courtroom without a backward glance, leaving him to the ruins of the life he so carelessly gambled away. 6 months later, the air at MIT is crisp with the promise of autumn and new beginnings. I'm sitting on a bench in Killian Court, the great dome standing sentinel against a brilliant blue sky, a textbook on quantum mechanics open on my lap. I'm not just here as a student, I'm here as the founder of my own future. The first check from the lottery winnings cleared a week after the court hearing. After hiring a team of the best financial advisors and lawyers money could buy, the Maya Henderson Foundation was born. My full scholarship was its first act of business. The second was helping 50 other kids whose stories mirrored my own in haunting ways. Uncles, aunts, parents, guardians who saw a piggy bank where they should have seen a child's dream. We paid their application fees, covered their tuition deposits, and set up trusts they couldn't touch until they were 25, safe from the greedy hands of the people who were supposed to protect them. Every thank you letter I receive is another nail in the coffin of the girl I used to be. The trusting, naive girl who thought family was a shield, not a knife. Uncle Rick took a plea bargain. Faced with irrefutable evidence of felony fraud and grand larceny, he was sentenced to 18 months in a medium security prison. He'll be out in a year with nothing to his name but a criminal record and a reputation that will follow him like a shadow. The casino debt was mysteriously settled by an anonymous donor. One of my lawyers handled it. I didn't want his blood on anyone's hands but his own. His punishment isn't a broken kneecap. It's a lifetime of knowing that he held the key to unimaginable wealth and handed it to his greatest enemy. Knowing that every single day the money he craved is being used to undo the kind of damage he inflicted on the world. My mother and I are closer than ever. The revelation of his deeper betrayal, the theft from her own savings, shattered her denial. We are a smaller family now, but a stronger one, forged in the fire of his deceit. She's selling the rental property he squatted in. The profits will go into her retirement fund, one that is now managed by my financial team, locked away where no one can touch it but her. Sometimes, late at night in my dorm room, surrounded by books and equations, I think about him. I wonder if he's sitting in his cell, replaying that courtroom scene in his head, the taste of ash in his mouth. I wonder if he understands yet. He thought the game was about money. It was never about the money. It was about power. He took mine, so I took his. All of it. Sweet revenge, I've learned, tastes better than any jackpot ever could. It's the taste of justice, of karma delivered not by some cosmic force, but by a steady hand. My hand. And as the first beneficiary of the Maya Henderson Foundation, I can honestly say it's an investment that has already paid for itself 1,000 times over. He gambled and I won. End of story.